Hello everyone. I'm going to make a quick video today to explain some information about the screens. I've had several people ask me about tracking issues with the screens and why when they touch the screens on the outer edges, it doesn't seem to track right. And that's usually because of letterboxing. And there's a very specific reason for it, and I'll explain that here. In doing so, I did find out also that the new MacBook Pros and iMacs that we're going to get, the screens are a little bit different, and that's what I'm creating this on. So it's going to look a little different, but the principle is the same, and you just have to check the same settings. So here we go. First of all, the new Macs that we're going to get have all USB-C ports. So here is your normal USB cable that you'd plug in from your screen to your computer. We're going to need to have this little tiny adapter here that goes from USB A to USB C. And then, of course, here is your HDMI cable. All right, so we got that. That's how it will look when it's plugged in. You got USB-C ports on the other side too, but the HDMI cable's on this side, so that's where I plugged it in. All right, when you first plug in your screen to your new computer, you're going to get this pop-up. You can just hit quit. It identifies your screen, your touch screen TV, as a keyboard. Yeah, you can hit quit here. It doesn't matter. It'll still work. There is no actual keyboard on it. So anyway, so if your screen looks like this when you turn it on, or that the image goes all the way to the edge here and all the way to the edge here, the tracking, meaning when you touch in one position, it's going to be correct. But sometimes that doesn't happen. So here's what happens. Okay, so if you need to change it, if the tracking is off on yours, you go into your Apple, go into System Preferences, go to Displays, and this is on the new one, but the settings after this. But on the new operating system, you have to click Display Settings, and we need to be sure that we're selected on the one that says PC Monitor. We need to optimize for PC Monitor. If you're getting letterboxing on your screen, on your TV, it's because it's being optimized for the Mac's screen, and your Mac's screen and your TV screen are different aspect ratios. So what you'd want to do on the TV, on the PC where it says PC Monitor, be sure and set it to optimize for PC Monitor. And then you want to set it to scaled. If you set it for best for display, everything's going to be so tiny you're not going to be able to read it. So this setting, the third one down, is the 1080p equivalent. And then you want to be sure that your refresh rate is set to 60. Some of them by default will set to 24, and then it looks really choppy, and if you're playing videos on it, it looks just terrible. So we don't want to set it to that. Be sure and set it to the highest one, which is 60 hertz. Okay, so there's that. So if you'll see in this screenshot, if I have it set to optimize for my computer, Joe's M1 Pro, it goes all the way to the edge, top and bottom, and all the way to the edge here. There's no letterboxing. Problem is, on the TV, we get letterboxing. So we get this, and we get this big black empty space. That's what causes the tracking issues. That's why when you touch somewhere on the outside, it doesn't work. So if I touch in the middle of the screen, it's accurate. Even if the aspect ratios aren't, because it's using the middle of the screen as its source. It goes from the middle to the outside. But then if I go to the outer edge of the screen, so here's the edge of the TV, the plastic bezel piece, the edge of the image, and you'll see when I touch here, the pointer thinks I'm touching here on the thing because the screen is sending information to your computer about where you're touching, and it thinks you're touching, only a couple inches from the edge, which, yes, you are from the image, but that's not physically where your finger is touching. And this is the problem. And I say in here, when aspect ratios are mismatched, the touch target will be offset by the width of the letterboxing black bars at the outer edge of the screen. So in the center it'll be accurate, on the outer edge it won't be. If you run into this is what's happening. So again, in our system preferences, in displays, for your PC monitor, be sure it's set to optimize for PC monitor, and you're setting it to scale at this one. That's 1080p. Once you do that, you'll see that this is the bezel, that the image goes to the outer edge, and you're no longer going to have target offset, so your tracking will be accurate. The other thing in this that I found were a couple other settings that may be of interest to everyone if you're using the screen with your computer, and I'll show you why here. You want to be sure that you have screen mirroring settings and your display settings. This is in the newer operating system, so you can otherwise ignore this, but set it to always show in your menu bar up top. That would be very handy, so you can get to those settings more easily. These are what it will look like. You get two icons, screen mirroring in your display settings, and you can adjust it here, or you can easily click on here to go into display preferences to change it. This is what the other one looks like. It allows you to control your brightness and so on and so forth. Or, as I said, go into display preferences. So again, this is what it should look like. This is what you really want it to look like for the PC monitor. That's going to be your main display. You're optimizing for it, 1080p, 60 hertz refresh rate. If you were to look at the settings for your built-in screen, the one that's on the built-in screen for your computer, it will normally look like this when you're connected to the TV. You're mirroring the PC monitor. Again, we're optimizing for the PC monitor scaled at this resolution. The other thing, if you want an on-screen keyboard, and the new on-screen keyboard in the new operating system is it's very cool actually. So you go into System Preferences, go to Keyboard. Be sure to show this in the input menu up top. That's what gives you access to your, this shows up here, gives you your on-screen keyboard that you can use. It even has the emoji keyboard if you want to pull that up and put in emojis. But so in the menu bar at the top, you go to this symbol and you say Show Keyboard Viewer. You're going to get this. This is an on-screen keyboard that you can then view and use on screen. You can resize it. So this is what it looks like on the TV. So you pull it up and type on it all you want. You can use, there's two different buttons. You can of course close it with the X. This button minimizes it to a little tiny square that's out of your way. You can still leave it up there. This button over here will provide settings that you can change. You can even make it fade away, and I'll show you what that, so that it fades away but isn't gone. It's very kind of nifty. This is what it looks like when it's minimized. It's just one button down below. You can put it by your dock that says keyboard. Then you can click on it easily to get immediately back to it. So again, this is what it looks like on your screen when it's up. And then this is what it looks like when it's faded away. So you can set it to be any amount of transparency you want. I set mine to 95%. And as you can see, you can barely see it on the screen, but it's still there. And as soon as you touch anywhere in this area, it pops back so you can use it. And that's really it. So that hopefully will resolve the touch target issues that people have been experiencing, where things don't align to what they're touching on. Just have to be sure to set the proper display settings, and then a couple cool other things in there about the on-screen keyboard and whatnot. The new operating system has a lot of new features in it. The keyboard was there before, but it didn't have all those fancy functions, so they've really upgraded that. And let me know if there's any other questions I can help you out with. If it was confusing and you just want me to come and fix it, let me know. Text me, email me, whatever it might be. But thanks, and if you have any questions, do let me know. Bye.